What if we told you everything you learned in school was a lie? Well, not everything, but today we will be looking at 20 things you weren't taught in school but should know. From earth-shattering discoveries to historical misconceptions, these facts are guaranteed to blow your mind. First up, cracking your knuckles doesn't cause arthritis. Despite what your grandmother might have told you, studies show that knuckle cracking is not only harmless, but the popping sound is caused by tendons snapping over the joints. Next, standing up increases your brain power. Research from the University of Kansas found that standing desks improve focus and productivity by up to 20% compared to traditional seated desks. Sitting for too long can make you stupid. Time to stand up. In Finland, the last official civil war was fought 117 years ago. In 1808, Finland was at war with the Russians. Since then, the country has maintained a reputation for peace and stability. Maybe they could teach the rest of the world a thing or two about conflict resolution. Speaking of Finland, did you know that Santa Claus was based off of a real person? Saint Nicholas, also known as Santa Claus, was a Turkish bishop known for his generosity and kindness towards children. He became so popular that people started celebrating his feast day by giving gifts to children, a tradition that eventually evolved into our modern-day Santa Claus. Ancient Greek and Roman statues weren't actually bare marble or stone monoliths. They were actually brilliantly colored and even had hair. Over time, weathering and pollution have eroded the pigments, giving us the monochrome masterpieces we admire today. Shaving makes you smarter. Well, not exactly. A study conducted by Boston University researchers found that men who shaved increased their IQ by 5 points on average. The reason behind this: higher testosterone levels due to no facial hair. Okay, maybe it was just a coincidence. Contrary to popular belief, Albert Einstein didn't fail math. He actually graduated first in his class at university. However, he did struggle with memorizing formulas and procedures, which may have led to the myth. And while we're talking about famous folks, did you know that Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy were both assassinated in the month of November? Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater on November 14, 1865. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22, 1963. Coincidence or a chilling pattern, you decide. The dodo bird went extinct hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus arrived in the United States. It turns out the extinction of the flightless bird was caused by overhunting by sailors who landed on the island where the birds lived. So although they may have seemed comical, don't blame Columbus for this one. Did you know that Henry Ford was actually a teetotaler and he didn't drink any alcohol, even though he enjoyed smoking cigars? He believed that alcohol was a major cause of social problems, and he campaigned against its consumption. Yet despite his views, Ford Motor Company did not implement prohibition policies for its employees until 1919, showing a degree of respect for their choices. Now, let's talk about a surprising part of the male anatomy: the testicle. Believe it or not, each testicle contains about 15 meters of coiled tubes, called the seminiferous tubules, responsible for producing and storing sperm cells. These tiny structures play a vital role in human reproduction, but how much do you really know about them? For example, did you know that the testicles are located outside the body in the scrotum for a specific reason? It turns out that keeping them at a slightly lower temperature than the rest of the body helps ensure the production of healthy sperm. But that's not all. Male fertility is actually influenced by a variety of factors such as genetics, lifestyle, and overall health. By understanding how to take care of your testicles and maintain good reproductive health, you can help ensure that you're doing everything you can to optimize your fertility. We've all heard Billie Eilish's song about it, but did you know that, in 1904, an actual cat was sent into space? This feline astronaut named Felix was launched aboard a Russian rocket as part of the country's early space program. But unfortunately, the mission was unsuccessful and Felix did not survive. However, this brave cat paved the way for future animal astronauts, including Laika the dog, who became the first living creature to orbit the Earth in 1957. Okay, now let's talk about something a little closer to home: mattresses. Did you know that the average mattress can weigh anywhere between 30 and 60 pounds? That's heavy, especially considering that you sleep on it every night. Where does all that weight come from? Well, a standard queen-sized mattress typically consists of several layers, including foam, coils, and other materials that provide support and comfort. While the exact weight will vary depending on the type and quality of the mattress, it's safe to say that this piece of furniture can definitely pack a punch. If you've ever wondered why you sneeze when you get out of a tunnel, you're not alone. It's a common phenomenon known as a vasovagal response. When you exit a tunnel, your body goes from a dark, enclosed space to bright light and fresh air, which can trigger a reflex response in some people, leading to sneezing fits. Although it may seem strange, it's perfectly normal and nothing to be ashamed of. In ancient Rome, gladiators weren't necessarily slaves or prisoners of war, as depicted in movies. Many were actually free men who chose to become gladiators for financial gain. They were highly trained athletes who competed in events such as chariot racing and hunting wild animals. For those who love a good scare, did you know that roller coasters were originally designed as a form of torture? In the 17th century, they were used to simulate the sensation of a violent death by hanging or crucifixion. Talk about a thrill ride. Speaking of thrills, did you know that Michael Jordan once scored 10 points in a single game against the Cleveland Cavaliers? That's right. On March 28, 1990, Jordan scored 35 points in the Chicago Bulls' 101-93 victory over the Cavaliers. This performance was part of Jordan's legendary career and remains a testament to his incredible skills. Next up, let's take a trip to the beach and talk about sand. Did you know that it's not just made up of tiny rocks and shells? Depending on the location, sand can contain a variety of other materials, including the skeletons of microscopic organisms, pulverized rock, and even pieces of glass from discarded bottles. And speaking of glass, did you know that it's actually a liquid? When it cools down, it becomes hard and brittle, but at room temperature, it's actually still flowing, albeit very slowly. In fact, the glass in your windows is about half an inch thicker at the bottom than at the top, because it has been slowly flowing down over the years. Now let's talk about the weather. Did you know that tornadoes can sometimes occur in outer space? Known as space tornadoes. These vortexes can reach millions of miles in width and are caused by the Earth's magnetic field interacting with solar winds. And finally, let's talk about something a little closer to home: your refrigerator. Did you know that it uses a special substance called Freon to keep your food cold? This chemical substance has a boiling point that's well below room temperature, meaning it can absorb a lot of heat without changing state. So next time you open your fridge to grab a snack, take a moment to appreciate the science that keeps your food fresh. So there you have it, 20 things you weren't taught in school but should know. From space tornadoes to refrigerators, there's always something new to learn about the world around us. What surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to share this video with your friends so they can test their knowledge, too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Have you ever been so embarrassed about something you didn't know that you Googled it in the middle of a conversation? Yeah. We've all been there. And it's okay to admit it. We're all constantly learning and growing, and sometimes we just need a little bit of help from Google. But it can be kind of awkward when you have to stop in the middle of a conversation to double-check something you're not quite sure about. But hey, it's better to be informed than to pretend, right? So don't be afraid to pull out your phone and search for the answer. Your friends will understand. After all, we're all in this together. Now check out another video and see if you can name that tune.